Hello there, I am Dr. Jane McCartney. I'm a chartered psychologist in the UK and I'm here to talk to you about all things narcissists and narcissism and how to survive it, how to get beyond those relationships. If I could ask you please to make some comments below, hit the notification bell, like button if you get some value from this, and subscribe. That would be really great, because the more people that find out about narcissists in their life, the more healthy relationships there can be around. In today's video, I am going to talk to you about when enough is enough with a narcissist. At what point, when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, do you actually kind of say, that's enough, I can't take this anymore? And it's often, and I had years of counselling people, which is always, just a brilliant thing to do if I can help people in any way. It's always that point where somebody will come and they will say, often afterwards, because they're dealing with the aftermath of a relationship with a narcissist, but they will say, I don't know why I went on for such a long time. And sometimes you go on without even realising it. The narcissist has kind of clicked onto something's not quite right with you, and you might be thinking about ending the relationship, and they will do everything possible to keep that relationship going because they are getting their supply from it. And people get embroiled in it. They don't realise what's actually going on, and they don't, it's only when you're kind of like out of it that you can look back and think, why did I go on for such a long time? I've had people come to me after 20, 30 years of marriage and kind of gone, I just didn't realise. And what we mustn't do in those cases is, acknowledge what's gone on, of course, but don't get angry, because that's almost like the imprint of the narcissist still on you. Because if you're angry and cross and annoyed with yourself and those around you that didn't tell you what was going on, then in kind of many ways they've won. So just be very, very careful about that. But what point is enough? And it's going to be different for different people. Some people have their boundaries and it's like, right, that's it, I'm not going to let you cross those. And other people will just kind of let that one go, and because I let that one go. And it's, narcissists obviously are highly toxic and can be very dangerous people. Every single domestic abuse situation is a narcissist. And I'm going to use that as an example of when is enough, because it will be, and I'll use this, with people that I've seen, they will say, well, it was just a little tap to begin with, and and I kind of let that one go, and he apologized and was very very, very sorry about what happened, and promised it would never happen again. And just that little tap in a very, very short time later had turned into a broken arm and black eyes and worse things that have happened, because it's narcissists will test it out. They will try and test out what they can get away with. And often I will say to people in their first port of call, if they're in any danger at all, call the authorities, call the police, have no bounds about it. That's what they are there for. Call the authorities. Because often if a narcissist, and again I've had this in situations, realises that your level's here, your line in the sand is here, and they have crossed it and you have done something about it, they will often be out of your life as quickly as possible. And that is one way of getting rid of them, because it might be, I'm screaming and shouting because, it was only, some slight little thing. I had one situation once, it's reminding me, I had one situation once where I had a lady, and the narcissist in her life would throw water at her. And she would say, I'm going to call the police. And she said, well, what are you going to call the police about? There's no, what are you going to do? I've thrown water at you. You're wet. They're not going to be, that's not, in his mind, throwing water at somebody wasn't a weapon. But it was actually, because the one time, and it was when I was seeing her, she did actually call the police. And the police came round, and the narcissist was saying, well, she's saying that I threw water at her. I'm going to deny that. And anyway, water isn't a weapon. Water was very much a weapon. Anything that is used in anger and as a reason to control somebody is a weapon. And it was quite a surprise to him, as you can imagine, that he was then taken off. I won't go to the end of what happened there, but just know that narcissists have a understanding and a belief about the world that necessarily isn't true, and they will try and put that belief onto you And then you start parroting and believing it back, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of, I don't know, just ignorance in a nice way. I'm not saying it's a terrible thing, that you just don't know what you know, of course. So they will then instruct you to believe what they know. And then that's where people get into these really kind of toxic and dangerous relationships. Get help. Number one,